me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
Reminds me of why I do what I do, and the impact that we have every day that we may sometimes, forget or goes over our heads because we're just ingrained in the next program, the next activity, the next challenge that we have to face. But take a step back and look at a video like that. It really makes you reflect on the impact that you have on a day-to-day basis.
Welcome back to the Daily Parks and Rec Show, live from the 2025 NRPA Conference. In today's episode, our host Dave Ramirez from OutdoorLink sits down with one of Florida's most dedicated leaders, Justin Pierce, Director of Parks and Recreation for Clay County. From humble beginnings as a summer camp counselor in Pensacola to leading one of North Florida's fastest-growing park systems, Justin shares his inspiring journey shaped by mentorship, community, and a lifelong passion for service. Justin opens up about the lessons learned transitioning from city to county government, the power of professional networks like FRPA, and how parks prove to be essential services, especially during the pandemic. It's a heartfelt conversation about leadership, resilience, and the power of parks to connect, heal, and inspire. Let's dive in.
Good morning and welcome to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. My name's Dave Ramirez with OutdoorLink, a proud partner of DPRS. And with me this morning is not only a great Parks and Rec professional, but a great friend of mine, Justin Pierce. Justin, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, like Dave said, my name is Justin Pierce. I'm the Director of Parks and Rec for Clay County, seated just south of Jacksonville. Been there a little bit over 7 years, so working on my 8th year there. Prior to that, I spent 13 years with the City of Pensacola Parks and Rec, and that's where I met my good friend Dave. 15, 16 years ago, man.
At least, yes. Yeah, we are FRPA. We've been members there for a long time, and Justin, young man compared to me, just go ahead. Back in the days, go to the conferences. We talk a little bit about the profession, what's going on, and I was always that person that you could come to and ask a question. I would give it to you straight. And like I said, I enjoy that, still do to this day. And Justin has done a phenomenal job over in Clay County, with upgrades and rebuilds and with that department. He's done so much. He's acquired different things like a fairgrounds and whatnot. And there's a lot happening up there in northern Florida. Anything you want to jump in with some details about things that you're doing?
Well, first, I just want to piggyback off of, a lot of the things that I've been able to accomplish in my career would not be possible without the mentorship of individuals like Dave. He was always one phone call and one text away, whether it was a question about in athletics or athletic associations or policies and procedures. So being a part of FRPA for, almost 20 years and being able to lean on a lot of the respected professionals in our field and those who've been there and done that really spearheaded my career and allowed me to avoid a lot of landmines that I could have stepped on if I didn't have those mentorships growing up in the field. So coming to Clay County, it was a little bit of culture shock going from city government to county government. So it was a lot of changes going from recreation facilities and programs to more outdoor spaces. And like Dave said, I'm over at fairgrounds, I'm over at gun range and outdoor adventure park, have campsites, and then most of them are passive and outdoor recreation-based parks. We also have tons of athletic fields, and when I got there, then the first phone call for me was to Dave because he did such a great job down in the Tampa area for so many years of putting policies and procedures and policing the athletic associations that utilize those fields. So that was the first thing I wanted to accomplish and get that thing under control in Clay County. And now that we have that, a lot of capital projects and soliciting funding opportunities to, upgrade our amenities and our courts and our play spaces. And that's kind of been my focus over the past, 5 or 6 years. But very excited about the opportunity to continue to grow my community and be an advocate for the citizens that utilize our facilities and continue to lean on those experts in the field that's been there and done that. And, hopefully they can continue to guide me throughout my career.
That's, and again, you've done a great job. And you had mentioned going from city to county. It's everybody thinks, it's one government to another government agency, but when you move into that county realm of things, it's just a lot larger. And you talked about landmines, and there are landmines on pretty much every other step, and you got to go ahead and be ready, be prepared, and do what's best for the community. And you've done so, and you continue to do so. Like I said, great things happening over in Clay County. You mentioned a little bit about FRPA, man. Tell me about what your thoughts have been being a member, because I think we came in pretty close. Like I said, I came in around 2000 or so, and you came in soon after that. And like I said, have worked together since. Tell me what your thoughts about FRPA, and then we're here in Orlando at the National Recreation Park Conference. What do these type of events mean to you?
Well, professional development and growth. If you want to be the best advocate you can be for your community, you have to be the best professional that you can be. And coming to NRPA, actually, this is my first national conference, but FRPA is when I kind of got my start and getting more in depth. And Abrams Academy was, my first introductory into Florida Recreation and Parks Association. And I was afforded the opportunity to step in with a lot of giants in the field and in the state. And those were references of mine that I can call on at any given time, and met Dave there. And every year you look forward to those friendly faces. And just from a sentimental note, being in Pensacola, you're, 5-6 hours from, I-75. So going back home, it was going away from everybody else in the field that were doing the same things that you were doing. So that opportunity to go down and network, for 4 or 5 days and see like-minded professionals that are doing great things and seeing what they're accomplishing and what you can take back to your communities was always a beneficial thing for me growing up in the field. And like Dave said, in 2000, I got my start in 2004 as a summer camp counselor. Just wanted a summer job. I didn't want to work at a shoe store and do construction with my dad, and went to one of the local rec centers and got on, and summer camp turned into working evenings and nights for rentals. And every, summer or holiday I came home from college, I was able to get those hours. And once I graduated, I was afforded an opportunity to be an assistant supervisor, and then, rapidly progressed throughout my career to recreation supervisor and then area manager. And that's when you get into the deep waters. And a lot of people say you fake it till you make it. I say you find people who've been there and done that, and you ride their coattails and learn from them and help them guide you. So that was my start into it. And Florida Recreation and Parks Association allowed me to not only grow professionally and to get smarter and get wiser and the things that I needed to learn to be the best professional that I can be. But it was nothing to call on anyone, whether it be Southeast to Southwest or Central Florida or the professionals in the Jacksonville area, Daryl Joseph. So a lot of those, friendships and bonds that I've created over the past 15 years really helped me in different areas of my career. Whatever I'm facing, I know who to call, who would be the best point of reference to help me in that situation.
Well, I laugh a little bit because you say, oh, when I started, summer camps in 2004, I started summer camps in 1991. That was that was my first summer camp. And I was a park kid. And so I grew up in the system. I was in the after school program. I was going to summer camps, and those coaches and mentors, they were mentors. Those coaches were mentors to me at that young age. And I had opportunities to do other things like you had mentioned, but Parks and Rec drew me in. I know you're a coach as well. We're friends, so I see your involvement with your children and youth sports and stuff, man. And I'm sure that what we do, it helps. You know what I'm saying? And you're a product, I'm pretty sure, of the parks as well.
Exactly. I got my start in Parks and Rec. Salvation Army was one of the best sports providers in the city of Pensacola when I was growing up. And so I got my start playing there and going to the rec center and playing ping pong and foosball in the lobby and going to practice and the concession stand and French fries. And that always intrigued me. And, when you look full circle, my first opportunity to play on the basketball tournament and go out of town was in Jacksonville. And then you fast forward, 20 plus years, now you're working in the Jacksonville area. So my first trip was stayed in the Doubletree Inn and played in Jacksonville, Florida. And a lot of my teammates never left, the city, never left the region. And, the power of sports allows individuals to come together from different areas and compete, and the different, lessons that you learn in youth sports the dedication, the perseverance, the sacrifice, it's bigger than yourself. Those things carry you in life. So being able to be a product of, youth sports growing up in Pensacola, and then, like you said, the summer camps and, the after school programs that provided so many opportunities for, individuals and communities, whether it be underserved communities or affluential communities, that really is the lifeblood of, memories. When you get older, you look back and reference those times in summer camps and after school and youth sports and traveling with your friends. So that opportunity in youth sports afforded me an opportunity to not only play high school basketball, but collegiate basketball, and travel across the country for 4 years and get an education so that I can come back and give back to my community in the form of recreation and parks. So I love sports, love, what recreation and the power of parks and what it can do for individuals like yourself and me. It only, just makes you want to do the best job that you can do for the next generation. So.
Yeah, well, I'm telling you, Parks and Rec folks, we love to give back, and that's in the heart of what we do. We care and we love what we do, and it's always trying to do something better for our community and our surrounding areas. And I've always enjoyed it. And even though I'm not in the field, I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm still, my heart's there, man. Once a Parks and Rec professional, always a Parks and Rec professional. So with that, I'm gonna click on a quick video. I want you to watch, Justin, and ask you a question afterwards. It's a great little skit.
Okay.
When we talk about essential services, what comes to mind? Police, firefighters, healthcare. But there's another essential service, often overlooked, yet always present. Parks and recreation. Parks and Rec is health. It's the walking trail that lowers blood pressure, the recreation center where seniors fight isolation, the swim lessons that prevent tragedy before it happens. This isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline. Parks and Rec is safety, a playground instead of a street corner, a basketball court instead of trouble, a summer camp where every child belongs. It's not just about activity, it's about protection, prevention, and possibility. Parks and Rec is community, the festival that brings neighbors together, the cultural event that teaches respect and diversity, the open space where a city breathes. It builds bridges where division once stood. It gives people a reason to gather, to connect, to care. And Parks and Rec is economics. It strengthens property values. It drives tourism through events and trails. It saves on healthcare costs. Every dollar invested multiplies, feeding back into schools, into safety, into growth. Essential service is not just about survival, it's about thriving. And Parks and Recreation is where thriving begins. In wellness, in equity, in culture, and in joy. Parks and Rec isn't extra, it's essential. For our health, for our safety, for our communities, for our future. A message from the Parks and Recreation community.
Wow.
Pretty impactful, in a nutshell. I have always used essential to what we do because there's so much more than many think. A lot of folks think, oh, you go out there and play with kids. No. There's so much more involved. So what do you think? That's a pretty great video there.
That video captured everything that we do and importance and the power of parks and the relationships that are fostered because of the systems that we create and the opportunities that we provide, whether it be a program, an event, or passive recreation. And you say the word essential, Dave, and the thing that pops out to me is COVID. We knew as park professionals what our importance to the community, and a lot of advocates in our community understood as well. But during COVID, nationally, when you talked about mental wellness and social distancing and people being cooped up in their homes, where was the one place people can go to have their sanity and to get out and to refresh, their mental, aspects of what they're dealing with? It was parks. you know,
Right.
open spaces, whether it be a pickleball court or a tennis court, and practice social distancing or walking a trail or, you know, shooting basketball on a, you know, on one hoop. It got you out of, you know, the craziness that was happening, and it allowed you to be some form of normal, even though it was a little different. And I think we Parks and Rec really was able to position themselves as essential services. You know, public safety is important, infrastructure, social infrastructure, roads, bridges, all of that is important to any community. But during COVID, parks really came out and shined and said, hey, look at what you're missing when people can't come together. But look at what we still can provide, even though we have to adjust to a new norm for a period of time that no one knew what was going to come out of that. So that video was just beautiful. It reminds me of why I do what I do, and the impact that we have every day that we may sometimes, you know, forget it goes over our heads because we're just ingrained in, you know, the next program, the next activity, the next challenge that we have to face. But to take a step back and look at a video like that, it really makes you reflect on, you know, the impact that you have on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, and that was, like I said, those are just one of the landmines. That was a big landmine that Parks and Rec dealt with back in 2020, but we perceived it. We came out probably even stronger than we were before, because
Exactly.
people saw exactly what the Parks and Rec professionals, staff, what we did is in parks. So no, listen, man, it's I appreciate you coming on with me in my first few interviews with the Daily Parks and Rec show. I tell you all the time, man, I'm proud of you. You know, you've done so well, man, and
Thank you.
you know, just continue to do, man. And I look forward to working with you here in the future. And hey, it's great, man. I thank you for coming on.
At DPRS Media Co., we believe Parks and Recreation isn't just a service, it's the heartbeat of our communities. We exist to honor the people, the vendors, and the leaders shaping the future of Parks and Rec. Our mission is simple: to tell their stories, highlight their careers, and celebrate their essential work. Our vision is bold: to be the trusted hub where leaders, vendors, and communities unite, inspiring innovation, sharing wisdom, and building a stronger, healthier nation. Through over 220 live shows and 6 weekly series, the Leadership Series, Facility Maintenance, Young Professionals Network, Youth Sports Mastery, The Rec Room, and Growing Leaders, plus our industry-leading newsletter, the weekly Parks and Rec Post, we're building a media platform made for the Parks and Rec community. And now, we're inviting strategic partners to co-create this story with us. As a partner, you'll gain 12 hours of annual live exposure with custom shows highlighting your expertise, polished 60-second promos refined for maximum impact, year-round visibility with dozens of replays across our media network, premium features in our newsletter, and amplified social media reach across LinkedIn, X, and Facebook. This is your chance to educate, inspire, and lead while connecting directly with the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. This is DPRS Media Co. Let's build the future of Parks and Rec together.